Red button means we're live, a casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to even take off my chest. So the Oklahoma City Thunder win game one of the Western Conference Finals in convincing fashion, 114-88 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. And yet, the national conversation today is about SGA's 14 free throw attempts. Not the fact that Minnesota took 53s, the most in conference finals history, and missed what felt like all of them. Not the fact that Anthony Edwards, their star player, went ghost in the second half with the lead, but the refs and SGA's whistle. Okay, let me just say this. Most people who are pushing the discourse about SGA's foul baiting are hypocrites, straight up. Because while I agree that grifting has no business being in the sport, and the refs have to do a better job officiating SGA going forward, y'all be picking and choosing whose foul baiting upsets you. I think SGA's foul baiting is a problem to you because you don't like SGA. Because what about Luka Doncic? I'm a Laker guy. I experienced it firsthand. Every time he drives to the paint, he's actively seeking a foul. And if he doesn't get one, he's going to whine to the ref about it. But I guess we like Luka, so it's not a problem. Or what about Jalen Brunson? He's king grift. To me, no one in the league's worse. Like half his offensive game is jumping into defenders. But I guess since he restored order in the mecca of basketball, there's not a peep about him being a bad TV product. But SGA is. This is the same thing that we did to guys like James Harden and Joel Embiid, right? These MVP level talents, just like SGA, who we didn't really like their personality, didn't necessarily like how they got their game off. So we threw these negative narratives of free throw merchant at them. But when Dwayne Wade wins a finals MVP averaging 16 free throw attempts a game, that's grit, toughness, resilience. But when SGA does it, he's soft, overrated, loser. I think this all just stems from people don't like SGA, but people love them some Anthony Edwards. He reminds them of Jordan. So when SGA gets this whistle in a win, emphasis on win, against Ants Timberwolves, people can't stand it. That's it. People can't stand it. I think it's so funny how, sometimes your point just gets proven because Nick Wright, someone who I love, by the way, I really look up to him. I think he's one of the best in sports media. Yesterday on his show, First Things First, in their series preview for the conference finals, he straight up says that he thinks OKC is the best team in the league. They're going to win it all. But he doesn't like watching them. He doesn't like watching SGA in hopes that Minnesota, a team that he does like watching with Anthony Edwards, beats them. And his only tweet during the game was about SGA's unwatchable whistle. It's just funny how that works. And yes, I agree that SGA was selling some of those fouls a little too much. Some of those were touch fouls, soft fouls that we should swallow that whistle in the postseason. But come on, man. I'm going to quote Carson Breber, that guy from Nerd Stats. I really like his content. Dude, SGA shot 14 free throws to Ant's 7. Only a 7 free throw difference. But SGA took 17 field goals in the paint to Ant's 1. That's your difference right there. I think naturally in the sport of basketball, when you drive to the paint, you're just going to get more fouls called. Even if sometimes you're flopping them. You're flopping around, putting on an Oscar performance. You drive to the paint, you're going to get rewarded with fouls. And at the end of the day, Minnesota only shot 5 less free throws than Oklahoma City. But like Carson said, it was at one point a 26-point game. But we're trying to make this about free throws. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Minnesota is just not better than Oklahoma City. These two teams are on different levels. And Minnesota is a sloppy team that plays right into OKC's game, capitalizing off turnovers. Minnesota had 19 turnovers yesterday. 13 of them were steals by OKC. And OKC turned them into 31 points. That's your ball game right there. Period. End of story. Not free throws. Because OKC only scored 6 more points off free throws than Minnesota. But OKC scored 21 more points off turnovers. That's a bigger difference in that 16-point game scoreboard right there. I just think people pick and choose about this whole thing. I think at the end of the day, since SGA, a player that people don't like, beat Anthony Edwards, a player they do like, in a game where he had some questionable calls go his way, everyone's infuriated about it. But they pick and choose because I see Jimmy Butler doing it all the time. I think Jimmy Butler is a worse foul baiter, a bigger free throw merchant than SGA, but he's playoff Jimmy. Resilient, big-time playoff performer. Everyone likes Jimmy Butler, but when SGA does it, oh my gosh, this is bad for the league. I think we pick and choose. I just think at the end of the day, Minnesota is not as good as OKC, and it showed last night. And the fact that the national discourse is about free throws and not turnovers and missed threes and no-shows from Ant, it's not good. But let me know what you guys think about Game 1 last night. I appreciate everyone for tuning into this episode of A Casual Take. Follow my social media. Stay updated on all things related to the show. Until next time, see you.